Hey everybody, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil, and it's time to talk The Expanse. This is the 6th episode of Season 2, but it feels like a season premiere because of the nature of last episode, which is, to my understanding, concluded the first book that the show is based on. So it really feels like we're starting a new story now. I don't know what that new story is exactly. Whether we're going to meet new characters, whether the proto-molecule is still the urgent threat that it was at the end of the last book. But I'm so curious to just jump into this. I have so few questions right now because last episode wrapped up that Leviathan Wakes storyline, the proto-molecule taking over Eros, heading for Earth, imminent doom. Miller saves the day and sacrifices himself in the process. It was a very satisfactory ending. I can't think of any loose threads that can't easily be dealt with in coming episodes. We still have our crew on the Rocinante. They've made themselves public to the UN. Fred Johnson and Chris Jen cooperated to save the day, and first the UN launching the nuclear arsenal and then turning control of it over to the OPA, and Fred in particular. Great trust, and Fred didn't betray that trust. And so I'm very curious to see what happens as far as the politics between Earth and the OPA and Mars. Mars kind of stood back on that one. They very much just said, let's not get involved. Let's see what happens. Earth may get destroyed here. This might be good for us. And so it'll be interesting to see the new political landscape, whether it's changed much as a result of this near disaster. It'll be weird watching the show without Miller. Miller was such an integral part. He was one of the first characters we met. He was a core storyline driving so much of this story, and he got the redemptive death that he probably craved, and he got to be with Julie, this woman that he never met and yet he fell in love with and gave him purpose and direction and maybe a refound honor and integrity that he had misplaced as he lived life on Sirius. But yeah, what this episode holds, I have no idea. Other than perhaps a massive paradigm shift, because that's what it's called. Episode 6 of Season 2, Paradigm Shift. Okay, back to Mars. The UN has a Mars colony?
Mars has been a colony for a long time. We were ready to govern ourselves and start a new nation of our own, but everything we built or mined or made was still the property of old Mother Earth. I'd been modifying the engine to boost fuel efficiency. I wasn't expecting much, maybe 4% better tops, and I was taking it out for a test run. The voice interface had been problematic from the start. The original owner was Chinese, so I turned the damn thing off.
Almost sounds like Patton Oswalt, but I know it's not.
The rest, I guess?
History. Oh. Is this the guy that invents the new propulsion drive?
My name's Solomon Epstein.
The Epstein drive.
And I changed everything.
Eros was a wake-up call. Whatever it was, it's clearly the greatest technological leap since the Epstein drive. It's a weapon that will conclusively tilt the balance of power in favor of Mars.
Where are we on the impact site mission?
We commandeered a civilian survey vessel and are refitting it with our best sensors and probes. If there's
they're
anything
gonna-
left of Eros down there, we'll find
They're going to
it.
get
We're
contaminated.
on our way to Venus in a week.
150 missiles we launched.
So far, sir, we've confirmed aboard on 121 missiles. We're confident we'll be able to account for all the rest in short order.
29 nukes still bumming around the system.
I hope you get to meet them someday. One in particular. Love you, Mom.
Proto-molecule turned an asteroid into a spaceship.
Nobody knows how.
We'll figure out how it works. Sooner or later.
I hope so. I want to figure out the science. Because it feels like that Epstein drive origin story is magic, too.
When I said we had to keep following Eros, none of you even questioned it.
It was the right thing to do.
I don't want to be the one who says who lives and who dies.
Whether you like it or not,
That's the captain's job.
you are the captain of this ship.
Yeah.
I just wanted to let you know that Naomi and I are together.
When did it start?
Just after we got out of Eros.
God damn it!
They were betting on it.
All right, go ahead, take a shot.
Oh.
What the hell was that?
Wet Willie.
Because I like you, brother. I don't want to hurt you.
Answered.
That obvious?
Me and Naomi being together isn't an issue for you.
She's a good person and I like her, but she's like a sister to me.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd do her if she let me.
Honest?
I'm glad we had this talk.
This is all the telemetry of the nukes the UN launched against Eros.
Did Fred keep a couple?
They detonated them after they lost target lock. That makes sense.
Except,
29.
Where are they now?
that's the million-dollar question.
Fred.
Kind of an unsettling thought, don't you think?
Yeah. They literally just put out a giant net to catch them?
Fuel efficiency was through the roof, 100 times better than anyone had even thought possible. A once-in-a-generation breakthrough.
Shut down. Main.
You turned off the voice activation system. Did he break his arm?
The most dangerous thing about being in a high G burn is that if it goes on too long, it'll kill you.
And he's just heading out to space, away from Mars.
You have a different theory about Eris.
Different, yeah. More like radical. I believe Eros was infected by an entirely new order of technology. Something from somewhere else, somewhere beyond the reach of our species.
My file for what to do if an advanced alien species comes calling. It's 3 pages long, and it begins with Step 1, find God.
You can pull the strings and get me on that ship. I will be your eyes and your ears.
She needs to talk to the Rocinante. You cannot go to Venus. No one should go to Venus. Leave it alone. God damn. We're too damn curious for our own good.
And Josephus Miller, with his final words, he said to me, You are the future, Diogo. You must continue to fight for the belt.
They filed a lawsuit over the Nauvoo against the Tycho Corporation and myself. Basically, I'm in some deep shit.
Where is the Nauvoo right now? It's presumably just still going. Couldn't you get it back?
If the wrong person picks them up, it could be a problem.
Especially if they're smart enough to remove the countermeasures. The missiles could be retargeted and sent right back at the inners. Or anyone else in the system, for that matter.
I've got the missiles.
We could use some help removing the countermeasures.
They can be used as deterrents or a bargaining chip.
Earth and Mars are still in the dark about the protomolecule. We need to tell them everything we know about it.
That would cause system-wide panic. Until we get more information, we need to keep this under wraps. Eros changed everything. Our first priority is to protect ourselves. And that means we're going to take advantage of every edge we've got.
Including 30 tactical nukes.
Miller, I do this for you.
Diogo's living his best life.
In the black, burning hard, 20 G's, and your whole boat is vibrating underneath you, about to shake herself apart.
So is Alex.
Oh, hey. Hold on there, partner. Whoa. Better back off and settle down, you hear?
Whoa.
What the hell?
Amos? Jesus Christ, Amos!
What are you doing here? You live here or something? Yeah, I got a flop next door. Next door's a brothel.
Yeah. Always got a history.
You two enjoy yourself.
God, I love Amos.
Now I'm getting the feeling that you're not being straight with me. After you left Arrows with Miller the first time, on your way back, you cut thrusts for nearly 5 hours.
Even poking through our nav logs.
Yeah, you got me curious.
That's when they hid the sample, right?
We're on the same team.
That's the thing with all of you. Earth, Mars, the Belt, the OPA. It's all bullshit. Shouldn't be any teams.
In order to survive, you have to pick a side.
Holden's such an idealist, though. I pick my side. I pick everybody's side.
It was my only hope. My last chance.
Damn phone's always breaking. So he's just been listening to the recordings from Eros on loop. No.
Got a minute? I think we should let
His
people know about
calculations
Minna
are
and
up on the
Julie
wall.
Bell, a belter, and an Earther who was an OPA member that sacrificed themselves to save the cradle of humanity.
You're going to turn them into a story.
He was a good man.
He was a pain in the ass, suicidal ex-cop
Both things can be true.
who got the job done.
And now he's gonna squeeze every ounce of information out of Kodazar's head to figure out how it works. He wants to control it.
Fred's trying to protect the belt.
Or so he claims. It's too dangerous to leave our sample out there anymore. We have to destroy it.
Would Fred be able to figure out where the sample is based on their flight path?
Dresden wasn't working alone. Do you seriously believe we've got the only remaining sample in the system?
We just might. We vaporized the Anubis. Phoebe, the original source, was destroyed. We broke Dresden Station down to the bolts. Nothing was there. And Eros burned up in Venus.
Did it burn up completely?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that we basically got the captain, and then we've got Earther. Thank you for telling me Amos is an Earther. For some reason, I thought he was a Belter. We've got Naomi, who's ex-OPA, and we've got Alex, who's who's still Martian, ex-Martian Navy. And we're getting all sides in these conversations.
I'm right about this.
She disagrees, but she's cooperating. She's going along with it.
It's done.
Yeah.
Who's good? Someone's going to track it. Someone's going to... Fred can... Yeah, I don't know. Someone can steal it. No, she faked it. Naomi! Wow. She felt really convinced that it was the wrong thing to do. Wow.
Lying there on my deathbed, all I could think about was, what happens next? Because with my drive, the Epstein drive, Mars would be able to move outward. My drive would give us the edge we needed to finally break free from Earth. That's the wonderful and terrible thing about technology. It changes everything.
He died. He never made it. But she had the plans. As he goes hurtling past Jupiter. Ganymede. Oh, yeah. Let's get back to our Martians.
Jules Pierre-Mount.
He's a good man, Christian.
Maybe he was once, but it's quite clear now that he was involved with Eros.
We have no proof.
We need to know what he knows. You should convince him to come in from the cold.
How am I supposed to do that?
He trusts you.
Not anymore.
You're really willing to cut him a deal?
Yes. When the stakes are this high, many things are possible. And please let them know that, if they can't, I will rain hellfire down on them all. I will freeze their assets, cripple their business. And I have the power to do it. Because I am the fucking hero who helped save Mother Earth from the cataclysm that Jules Pierre Mao unleashed. Tell his children that government is more powerful than any corporation. And by the time they can pull the strings to force me out, it'll be too late. Their family will be ruined. All of them pariahs, outlaws, hunted and on the run for the rest of their days until we find them and nail each and every last one to the wall.
Oh, I love her.
You tell them that.
Wow. She's so fucking badass. I love her. Wow.
Deimos ain't a moon anymore. It's just a bunch of rock.
That is not funny.
I disagree.
17 Martians died in that attack.
Do you want to do something about it? Go ahead. Take a shot.
Is this your messed up way of telling me you're sorry?
Was it messed up? The way I see it, there's only three kinds of people in this world. Bad ones, ones you follow, and ones you need to protect.
But so I'm the one you need to protect, is that right?
Yeah, there's nothing to be ashamed of.
I fight my own battles.
Just admit you're friends, guys. That you got each other's backs.
I'd suggest discharging the gyros first.
She's going back OPA.
I wasn't expecting your help.
Belters have to help each other. No one else will.
Yeah, Epstein's still a thing 127 years later.
We will be in visual blackout for the next 48 minutes.
Continue patrol and do not linger on the border.
This is Stickman 1, understood. And it's definitely unarmed. Probably just an unlicensed ag drone from one of the greenhouses.
Gun battle?
On foot, closing fast. They appear to be charging us.
Oh. What?
They're jamming us!
No comms. Wow. Who's authorized that?
God damn it, I need a surface visual now!
Whoa. Okay. We're just... We are lighting up the sky with... Is this...
Free out, make a line, free fire, 500 meters. 500 meters.
Okay. Who are they? They're being chased. They're firing. What is going on? Was that an Earth attack or was... This is Mao again. Saeed. They all dead? She's leaking, but she's not dead. Play dead. Whoa. Is it a proto-human? What the? All right, brand new story. Of course, we're not saying goodbye to the proto-molecule because Earth and Mars don't even believe in the proto-molecule. They're going to Venus because, well, Earth is going to Venus because they think it's new Martian technology. And the only reason we're not telling them, I'm not sure I buy Fred Johnson's take that we can't tell them otherwise it's system-wide panic. Tell the UN Council, tell the Martian equivalent, let them know what you know. They've got some records of this stuff. I don't even know where to start. Naomi, I guess she betrayed Holden. He, as captain, he decided the best thing to do is to destroy the sample that they've got hidden in the belt. And Naomi pretended to go along with it, but somehow faked her display, and in fact kept it exactly where it is. But I'm worried because Fred Johnson, he managed to track their flight into Tycho Station when they hid the sample, and saw that they slowed right down for 5 hours. Is he going to be able to figure out where they were, where they hid that sample? Because Fred feels like it's entirely appropriate to steal 30 high-grade nukes from Earth, potentially as a deterrent, potentially as a bargaining chip, but it gives him power. It gives the OPA power, to be clear, but it's dangerous. And would he think that having a sample of the proto-molecule would give him similar power? I don't know. Fred scares me now. I feel more aligned with Holden, obviously, but Fred just, instead of looking out for what's best for humanity, he's looking out for what's best for the OPA, and they aren't necessarily the same thing all the time. And yeah, Holden's absolutely an idealist. He's got these grandiose dreams of what could be and what should be, and maybe he's not politically practical at all, but you want to believe in him, which is why he's the captain of his little crew. Christian, my God, she rocked my world with her little tirade against Aaron right there. But nobody knows where Mao is. Her energy, her ferocity, her anger and passion, she's so good. Cannot wait for more of that sort of stuff from her. But she has her eyes set on Mao, except no one knows where Mao is. Hopefully that pressure will be brought to bear on his children, and they'll turn him in to save the family holdings so that they aren't completely ruined. But I don't think it's going to be that easy, and I wonder where is Mao? Where might he be? Is he somehow connected with this attack on Ganymede that we just saw? Because we had no inkling of an impending Earth attack on Martian troops. And granted, we don't see everything that's happening at the UN, but I feel like Christian would have been in the loop for something like that. So either this is something that Aaron Wright and Mao have somehow engineered without her knowledge, or this isn't Earth. At least this isn't the UN. Maybe this is Mao again. Maybe this is, I don't know. But tell me that figure that was looming over, what's her name? Bobby. At the end there, it was all black, but like glowing blue fissures, and it's that same proto-molecule blue. So it does make you wonder whether there were other samples of the proto-molecule, whether other experiments were being done with it. Maybe there were other Dresdens out there doing their own thing with it as well. And Mao's making use of that now. But this, just like, let's dial it back to the start of season 1. The attack on the Kant and the Donager. The initial theory was Mars attacked the Kant. This stealth tech of Mao's, that was the initial reaction. And I feel like this engineered attack on Ganymede will have the similar but opposite feeling, like Mars is going to go, Earth just attacked us. Just attacked our agricultural station, killed however many people. It looks like we only have the one survivor from our Martian Marines. But those Earth soldiers that were approaching, they were firing, and who were they firing on? Because they were still well out. They weren't engaging our Martians. They were running from someone or engaging something else and just heading in our direction. Obviously, we don't know enough yet. but I'm intrigued. I want to know more. Can I say how much I appreciate this show? Because in my preamble, I said the fact that we knew nothing about how the proto-molecule was defying the rules of physics and everything didn't sit well with me. And they acknowledge that in the first 10 minutes of this episode. They're saying we need to figure out what happened, how it works, what it's capable of. They're addressing that there's a gap in our scientific knowledge, and we need to fill that gap as quickly as we can. And I've always known the crew of the Rossi is a diverse crew. We've always known Alex used to be Martian Navy. We always knew that, well, we didn't always know, but we've come to learn that Naomi is XOPA. I've been corrected and told that Amos is an Earther, even though it sounds like he comes from an incredibly rough background somewhere on Earth. Apparently Baltimore, but in any case, Bodymore. Check out The Wire if you haven't watched The Wire. So we've got one of each, basically. We've got an Earther, we've got a Martian, we've got an OPA, and it's Holden's job to make them work together. And I think we're going to have more and more moments, like we did this episode, where their viewpoints are going to be very different because of their backgrounds. And we may even have those fights and those betrayals because they view the situations that the Rossi runs into very, very differently. What's going to happen if and when Holden finds out that Naomi lied about the sample, that she went behind his back, that she's helping the OPA not reverse engineer these bombs, but take away the fail-safe so that they can be turned back on Earth targets. What's his reaction going to be? But yeah, this was a great setup episode. It comes in a weird place. I'm not emotionally prepared for a season premiere, but this very much felt like a season premiere because we are starting the next book in the series. And yeah, I love the energy of it. Episode 5 ended so satisfactorily that you didn't really have anything left wanting. You could have walked away after those 5 episodes plus season 1 and go, that's a great show. So what we needed from this episode was a reminder of all the tensions and the complications and how convoluted this world is. And I think we got that reminder in spades. And on top of that, we got the history of the Epstein drive. So this guy fiddling around with his car engine, like the equivalent would be if a guy bought a car secondhand, tuned it up, expecting to get a little bit more power out of it, and somehow or other, by turning off his voice commands, turned it into a ramjet. Like it, I don't get how that happened. How that happens, because he didn't understand how it happened. He was expecting 4% improvement, and he got 100-fold improvement. So I feel like there's further explanation to the Epstein drive, because the Epstein drive changed the solar system. It's like he said in his narration. Now Mars could explore beyond the belt. Now the system was open to exploration and colonization. Mars itself becomes much more accessible to Earth and vice versa. It just changes everything. Technology changes everything. But you don't accidentally create technology like that. You don't accidentally create revolutionary technology. There's a greater explanation there. Is it? Now that I don't know what the explanation is, I really don't. What happened? But I trust this show enough to say that this show will not just leave it at that. The show won't just say, accept that this is magic. They will They may not be able to explain it in science that we currently understand, but they will elaborate. Somebody's influence affected that engine intentionally. But who? But as far as I could tell from that story that we got in this episode, he died. He couldn't turn it off. He wasn't prepared for the G-forces. He didn't have the juice or any of that. So he stroked out and he died. And it was so dang fuel efficient that it carried him out past Jupiter before anyone else had the technology to go get him. So yeah, man, that's what happened there. But his wife had the plans, and the plans were sufficient to replicate the technology, which means it wasn't just an accident of something that happened on the ship. Like, something he put into the plans changed everything, but he didn't even understand it. It feels like Deus Ex Machina. It feels like something external influenced that. Alien technology or something. Like, it just feels like, yeah, you don't accidentally invented Boeing 747. So I look forward to learning more. God, this show's good. So much fun. So excited for more. I guess I have to be mentally prepared that the end of this season, end of season 2, isn't really going to be the end of a storyline. Maybe there's going to be sort of what amounts to an Act 1 climax in the book arc, which I've been told I think takes us to the end of season 3. Is that right? That would make sense. A season and a half for the first book, a season and a half for the second book, and then I think we do a season per book from then on. Tell me if I'm right. I think that's what a bunch of you have told me. But yeah, we have how many episodes this season? So we got 13 this season. So we've got another 8 episodes this season. A lot's still gonna happen. But as for what, I have no idea. I still want. I look forward to more interaction between our separate storylines. It was so cool to see Holden and Christian exchanging messages last episode, but I'd love for them to be in the same room and have like a face-to-face conversation. I'd love to see Gunny cross paths with the Rocinante somehow. Now that we've lost Miller, are we going to meet new characters that provide us a different storyline? Does Fred Johnson remain an independent storyline, or is he just sort of the guy at home base for the Rossi? Do we stick with Diogo and his new OPA story? There's so many options, and that's really appealing and exciting. So all we can do is come back next week and watch another episode, see what happens next. So until then, everybody, take care, stay healthy. I'll see you soon. Cheers.